Okay, so I ended up putting some slits in here, and I actually put it on this bottom side piece. It's all one piece, and I put little tiny slits in there just on that corner area just to help it follow smooth around, and it worked really well. So I would suggest going ahead and doing that. Just don't make them very big, because you're going to have that seam allowance you got to stay into, and you don't want your bag to come apart on that area if you make those slits too big. So that's what we got there, and on the bottom turned out pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and do this top round area right here to help it go around a little bit better. It's really fighting me. So little tiny slits. Kind of left my clips in there where I was having a problem on the side of it, and then it kind of showed me where it wasn't coming together very good. So then I knew where to put my slits at. So see, running out of clips. And again, if you don't have clips, you can use your pins. Just stay in the seam allowance. Alright, that's what we got. Looking pretty cute, pretty exciting. So let's sew it. And let's go ahead and sew with the clips facing down this way rather than flipping the bag upside down and sewing this way. I just find it easier to sew this way. That way I can kind of smooth out where it's puckering really bad. So we're going to start in a not so obvious area. So let's start on a side seam here and then work our way around. And I'm going to do that 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And forward stitch. And stitch back the couple. And then just take your time. If you're having a lot of puckering and it's slipping, go ahead and pull it out, and then just go ahead and redo it in the area where you've seen that it kind of slid and was puckering. With this fabric, you could put a lot of holes in it, but I would say if you're having to take it out again a couple times and you got a lot of little holes in there, take a blow dryer to the back of it, and because it's got the water resistant repellent stuff on there, it's kind of the rubber plastic, the holes will kind of melt back together again. So it'll give you a little bit of a second chance there to get it back in order. And just kind of slid on me. Some finagling. This water repellent fabric, it usually takes a little bit of playing with and getting used to it. But don't be afraid to use it and work with it if you're wanting that kind of fabric for your bag. Just go for it. I got off my seam allowance right there a little bit. I might have to straighten that up on my second time around. Wants to fight me. Coming to the end, and then we'll see how it looks. And who knows, I may have to pick some stuff out here. There's been a couple of times where I've actually had to pick it out quite a few times. Got frustrated, but I just kept going. Alright. Let's see how this looks. Hopefully it's lining up pretty good, I think. So you can see how those corners are pretty stubborn. And there is some bulk there, and we'll cut that down after we do our second time around sewing. So I'm going to flip it inside out and make sure I caught my corners pretty good. We'll see how it looks. It's a pretty cute little bag. So you'll notice I actually put pull tabs on the top of my bag, and I didn't do that earlier in the video. But if you decide that you want to do that after you've sewn the top seams and stuff together, just go in there and put a little seam rip, and then you can put your pull tab in there. These were about 3 inches, and then I made sure that it had about 1 inch overlap in there, and then I cut it, the bulk that was left in there. So not too late to do that. Let's go ahead and check everything. Looking pretty good so far. I've rolled those seams out. Yep, see right there, I can actually see a seam line where I didn't go in far enough. So I'm going to try to correct that on my second time around of sewing. We'll see what happens. If I don't grab it then, it's not the end of the world. It'll still be super cute. Just want to make sure that I caught most of it. So I really want to hook more on that corner right there. Okay, let's do our second sew around. And again, we'll just start in the same spot. That's where we started before. So you're not going to go too far in. You're just going to go, you're going to, your second time sew around, you're just going to come in and sew just a little tiny bit in front of that, not far. And this time around, it'll go a lot faster. Get this down. take your time as you're going around. You still want to make sure you get your rounded curve. And straighten out your little puckers. Pucker out of there. Lots of little puckers. Let's see if I caught that. Almost coming to where we started. Puckering. I think I might have a little bit of a pucker in there, but I think it's so tiny that I'm not even going to worry about it. If you can kind of see it right in there, but I think it's going to be okay. Cut these little strings off. Let's see what we got. Exciting. The bag is almost complete. All right, it looks like I got that time around. Yep, got that. Looks pretty even. That's looking pretty cute. Pretty cute. Yep. All right. And we'll get our back put on. Let's grab our back. Here, it's a little wrinkly. So we're gonna fold this wrong side out. Right side inward, and we're going to put it where the buckles go inside and make sure that it's facing the right direction. You want the long buckles up at the top, so just make sure you're not putting it upside down. So this might help. If you pull them apart, you want this buckle part up here. And I'm going to go ahead and put them back together. It makes it a little bit easier when I'm sewing the bag together. So then we're just going to put the buckles inside the bag like that. And we still have our crease line that we made on the bag. So I'm going to line that up with the crease that we have here. And just finagle around with it. take some playing with that, and I'm going to put a clip in the center. I'm going to put a clip down here on the bottom on the center. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do the sides. See how that lines up. And then just kind of pick one side, the top or the bottom, to work on, and then work side to side. And then just kind of look at it as you're going along, and you'll be able to see which way you need to slide your fabric to get it lined up. And I'm going to say, I think we're going to need to clip these sides right here to get this fabric to play nice. In fact, I might have to cut those corners down quite a bit, actually. So let's go ahead and see what happens with our bottom. I may have rounded my bottoms too much. Or it's possible I stuck my bottom facing the wrong way. This could be my top of the piece where okay, so this is my back, but I may have flipped it the wrong side around when I was putting the buckles on. So I might have to cut these down. Let's see what she does for us. Yep. All right. Let's clip it around. Side. So I don't think that's even. So you just kind of have to keep playing with it. I feel like my front got shifted somehow. Way over there. So don't give up, just keep playing with it until you get it all lined up. Eventually you'll be really good at it if you're going to make a couple of them.